So we do this all the time. We fall short. We fall short for lack of information. And that stops you from fulfilling that need of the intent of the prospect. And it's important for you to understand that you do have the tools. Every one of you has the tools. This is the only company on Long Island, the only company on Long Island that does this type of training, that will push you to do what's necessary to make sure that you're providing a service, a wonderful service, one that is always upbeat. I can help you find what you're looking for. I can help you sell your home. Those are the two greatest desires in this business. Rentals fall in that as well. It's very hard to find the right rental, the right prices. Everything's changing dramatically. Follow the intent, fulfill that need, and you will have a lifetime of source listings and deals coming through because you're providing the best service possible. Inside of Laffey Connect, when you go in there, you'll look in two particular places. The CRM for all your leads and where you're adding your prospects, and then you'll go into the Market Watch reports. The Market Watch reports are the one thing that is underutilized. Now, I had done a training earlier in the week, and you can see that I had done a Hicksville Market Watch report. So let's preview that. Now it's done already. So I basically entered it and I just added Hicksville, and I didn't do any price structure or anything like that or bedrooms. I just did just a blanket search in Hicksville, and it gave me all the information I'll ever need. And it's giving me up-to-date information, and it continues to update it on a daily basis. So this is funny because when I first ran this report, it was $6.99, and now the price is $6.97 as an average asking price. So whatever market you're looking to educate yourself on, do a Market Watch report, spend 10 minutes on it, and you'll know everything you need to know for that next conversation. Where are you looking? Oh, I'm looking in Hicksville. Interesting. I just pulled up a Market Watch report on that. Hicksville's average price now is about $6.97, and it's down probably about 10% since the beginning of this year. Days on market is, it's about 128 days. Right now, there's about 184 homes for sale in that market. Over the last year, though, it has risen from an average of 620,000 all the way up to 697,000. It's kind of leveling off right now. Hicksville's days on market has been roughly the same, dipped a little bit in July, but I think that's because homes were selling very fast in the summertime. And if we look at the properties for sale now, you can look down and see what's sold. So again, this Market Watch report can give you a wealth of information to keep that discussion going. And I think that is going to solve the problem of intent. Now, let's see if anybody is watching. As I go over to YouTube, go to YouTube. Let's see. Hello. Laffey Real Estate. It's funny, I came up with a song years ago. Here it is. Oh! There we are. Let me just mute that so I don't give you that feedback. I love going live. I love going live. There's me and my my visitors for the holiday season. So they're coming in today, and they just want a quick treat before they head back out. So folks, yes, intent. So let me run a short video for you. Let's see if we can get that running. I subscribe to Google and everything Google. So one of the ones that comes in on a regular basis, and this is just for marketers really, it's what's new on Google today. So Think with Google. Now Think with Google is basically market trends. And it's looking for whatever the trending data is for a particular subject or a particular niche. And this one was job searching. And job searching is up 100% year over year. And the reason is that we're in a new transformation, a new transition. COVID has changed the way we look at things, and I think you know this by just going to your local places where they're now replacing cashiers with the automated tellers, and also you're looking at less staff in a lot of places because it's not because there's a shortage of people. It's because people are now reevaluating. They're taking the time to make that shift. They're shifting to other careers. Real estate is a great one because that fits in with almost every kind of model that you can think of over the last 50 years. Flexibility of schedule. It can be used as a gap, a bridge gap between one career to the next career. But it's a license that you can have all the time. So you can jump in and out of real estate whenever you want. Or if you want to make it a full-time thing, you've never had better tools in the industry. The digital world has given us so many different tools and resources. And that's what you need to think about. So even if you're just doing it part-time, you can use those tools and resources to be the director of your business. Now, I think I put a title, Can Google Help My Business? And the answer was no. Google cannot help your business. Google doesn't know who you are. Google doesn't care who you are. You have to help your business. And Google is one of those tools that you have to utilize. So can Google help your business? No. You can help your business. And use all the tools that Laffey has available. Laffey Connect, the CRM, that's the one you need to use. So let's see what else we got here. So there's one person watching. I guess that would be me. Okay. Testing 1, 2, check 1, 2. There we go. So I watch these videos that give me insights into different trends. Now, are they real estate related? No, but they are related to intent. And we're trying to figure out what's the intent of a buyer. So for instance, has traffic for searching for homes gone up? Yes, it's gone up about 1,100% in the last 2 years because everybody wanted to shift. Everybody wanted to shift out of the big cities and move into the suburbs so they'd have extra elbow room and space. Money was cheap. And what I mean by that is interest rates were really low for mortgages. So where else in the last 30 years could you get an interest rate that's below 3%? Let me take this opportunity to go buy a home that is less expensive than it has been in 30 years. Now, you'll say, well, the prices of homes have gone up. Yes, they have. But your mortgage payment is roughly the same as it would have been 3 years ago. So yes, you bought a different home. You bought a home that you could have bought 3 years ago at $475,000, and then this year you had to pay $600,000 for that home. Yes, the home was more expensive, but money was cheap because the interest rates were lower. So that's the mindset. That's the intent of people now looking to buy homes. It's like, wow, I just got pre-approved for a mortgage. I'm at 2.85, and I can buy up to blank number, whatever that number is. And that obviously has to fit your budget and what you're doing. But this also goes to what people are doing for jobs nowadays. You know, we had this huge decline in people working. And so when the job report comes out, you're like, what the heck? Now, we've always thought of jobs as, well, more jobs are being produced. Well, no, not now. What we're trying to do is fill those jobs that have been open for a year and a half. Yes, there are new jobs being produced each and every day because we are now shifting to a different kind of society, a different kind of work society. So people are making that transformation. And right now, people are looking inward. What do I want to do? I went to college for this. I was an electrician and I did that. What do I want to do moving forward? COVID gave you that eye-opening wake-up call. So that being said, what's the intent? So let's watch this video real quick and see where we're at.
Why has interest in job applications increased by 100% year over year? And why are searches for work-life balance and follow-up after an interview rising so dramatically? Join us to explore what's happening. Once a month, a group of data analysts and marketers get together to explore the most recent trends in Google search. The Insights Jam team includes Nina Taniguchi, Consumer Insights Manager, Casey Fictum, Product Marketing Manager, Dan Travada, Data Insights Manager, and me, Ashley Wells, Consumer Insights Manager. Welcome to the Insights Jam. I'm Ashley, and I'm here with my fellow data enthusiasts, Nina, Casey, and Dan. Hey guys.
Hey Ashley.
Hello.
Hey Ashley.
The theme we're covering today is exploring new jobs. Google search queries have shown us this month that Google searches for job application have grown globally by over 100% year over year. Dan, any thoughts to why we're seeing this growth?
Yeah, as the data guy, I have to take a minute and just talk about this growth for a second, okay? People have been searching for jobs. They searched for jobs last year, but the search demand that we've seen has actually doubled. So, just kind of thinking about that and letting that settle in, that's huge growth versus last year. And I think what we're seeing is a huge demand for people to enter the workforce, both for the first time or possibly re-entering after the disruption from COVID.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, Dan, and maybe just to build on that and zoom out a little bit further, I think more generally, the pandemic has really given people reason to either kind of reevaluate their situation and then think about, is this really what I want to be doing with my life? And therefore they embark on a new career, or but on a more negative side, people are being forced to search for new jobs because they've lost their jobs. So I think there's a lot of disruption happening right now because of the pandemic.
One of the things that comes to mind for me is a convergence of this and other trends that we see. I try to do that a lot in these sessions where you see one trend and you can converge it with another, and now all of a sudden it's relevant to your business. So if I were a mental health service, I would be considering that, to Nina's point, this is a big life change for a lot of people. Ramping up in a new career, applying for careers is a pretty mental taxing task.
Yeah, thanks, Casey. And I think kind of building off of that idea of mental health is also that marketers have to keep in mind that consumers are just resilient, right? That actually brings us to our next data point, which is that we've seen Google searches for work-life balance grow globally by 40% year over year. Any surprises there?
It's really interesting when you look at the top searches, including this term, you have things like work-life balance meaning, or what is work-life balance. So initially I would have thought people would be searching for how to achieve work-life balance, but instead they're looking for what it means to begin with. And I think with the pandemic, that maybe caused the goalposts to shift.
Yeah, that's a good point, Nina. I think COVID has made us all rethink our relationship to work and what's important. And for those of us like me with young kids, how could you not reevaluate what's important when you're trying to watch a young kid and trying to work from home at the same time? But I think something for marketers to keep in mind is, as we've seen this huge demand from work from home jobs, a lot of employees have yet to figure out how to protect their own personal time when they're working from home. And so there's clear implications for a lot of marketers, but I think marketers from all industries can take away that people's mental health has really become top of mind, and their patience for irrelevant marketing and messages very short.
Yeah, and I want to take a step back and revisit something that you mentioned before, Nina. When talking through some of the top examples, it was, you mentioned it was more about trying to understand what the work-life balance is, rather than kind of how to achieve that. And I think, one question that comes to mind for me is, now that, a lot of children have returned back to school, a lot of companies are offering, the opportunity for employees to go back into the office, are consumers potentially going to have to rethink yet again what it means for work-life balance and how to achieve that? And if that's something that marketers can potentially get ahead of that curve within the next few months, as we think about folks really adjusting to kind of getting back into the flow of things.
Yeah, there's nothing cooler for a marketer and a design team, experienced designers, than a new cultural moment, a new cultural movement, something new to work with that becomes a brand new canvas. So to your point, Ashley, on rethinking that or having that opportunity, we saw a lot of that not too long ago when the pandemic started, and I think now it's worn off a bit. If I see another example of mixing work and life and on a video call. So somebody's sitting there and something happens in the background that is presumably goofy, that now we all just kind of, I mean, maybe people are still laughing at it. You know what, for me, trying to create something new, I don't want to create that ad again. We want to think about what is truly that work-life balance now become.
If I could just add one thing, something you said, Casey, about things changing and work-life balance looking different now. As a researcher, for marketers to also just remain curious and whether it's using Google Trends or doing their own research, to continue to ask those questions of how people's lives are changing, because we're all experiencing it together.
Yeah, no, really strong build there, Nina and Casey. Thanks for that. That takes us to our final data point. So again, this month we've seen that Google searches for follow-up email after an interview have grown globally by over 100% year over year. So another one of those, we're seeing pretty strong growth. Thoughts on what's driving that?
Does anybody know what the fastest growing city in the world is? It's Dublin. Because it keeps on doubling.
Oh,
Oh, Dad.
cut.
Did you just come up with that?
This is why.
This wasn't in my
All right,
contract.
that was really bad. Okay.
This wasn't in my
That was
contract.
really bad.
I shouldn't be subjected to such
Look,
nonsense.
okay, that was really bad. But look, we've got another Google search trend here that's doubled over the past year, and it's another one that people have searched for this a ton last year. So the fact that it's grown this much is again really significant. And I think with so much of the job search and interview process having moved to digital, every candidate is trying to figure out, how do I stand out from the crowd? Every touch point with potential hirers is even more important, right? To show your true self to employers and your skills. And I think people come to Google to ask for advice all the time, but especially when the stakes are high. And so for a lot of people at this time, this is one of the highest stakes things that they can do is, how do I move to a career that's more fulfilling for me? How do I, find a job after, being let go after COVID disrupted my career? And, there's obvious implications for job search sites and career research portals, things like that. But Casey's got really strong opinions.
I do.
On this
You
one,
can see it in my face.
Yeah,
I
can see it,
absolutely
yeah.
do. And I was going to say, there's intent this is where intent matters. And this is also where I get a little scared for, especially a marketer reading, if we publish insights like this and don't put some of that intent or context around it. Follow-up emails, people are going to be looking for examples. I'm guessing that's where this term goes. I'll be interested to hear that. But if it is going that way in terms of context and intent, that is not very personal, and personality is what you want in a follow-up email.
I think a common theme between, both what you mentioned, Casey, and what you mentioned, Dan, is that there's this element of personification. There's this element of being able to showcase who you really are, which we all know is a challenge to do, through a screen. So to see increases in search for things like follow-up emails, for example, like we're seeing in this trend, is really impactful because it shows that there's a gap there.
Yeah, I think these are all really great points. And what I found really interesting is when we looked in more detail at what exactly people were typing into the search bar with these follow-up emails. It was things like follow-up email after interview status or second follow-up email after interview. So, searches like that make me think that people are likely feeling anxious and impatient. I know I did when I was applying for this job and all job. And so I think beyond enabling applicants to stand out and show their personality throughout the hiring process, I think marketers and employers have an opportunity to think about how they can further reassure people applying for jobs.
Yeah, and this is why I love jams, because I can go on a rant for a little while and Nina can tell me I'm completely wrong. I mean, Google search is such a beautiful thing because it is truly like human intent that you're looking at in words and then trying to get to the bottom of it. And we have the tools to do that, but that's why jams are fun, because we can go back and forth on that. And
They said we couldn't make follow-up emails sound interesting for 5 minutes, but we proved them wrong.
I was going to ask if Dan had a closing data joke, but I think that sealed the deal. So, well, that's the last word for us, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Team, always, thanks so much. Thank you for joining our Insights Jam. If you like what you see in these discussions, subscribe to get more great Think with Google YouTube content. Until next time, you keep searching and we'll keep exploring what it all means.
So that was pretty good. That pretty much tells you that Google rules the roost. Rules the roost, as they say. And I want you all to understand that the biggest part of your online business is going to be Google. And it's been this way for a long time, but people like to rely on Zillow. And Zillow is going away, all right? It's not going to disappear overnight, obviously, because they are a big entity. But they're no longer buying homes, which was a great indication that Zillow is getting out of your way. They have a tremendous presence on Google, but the Laffey tools allow you to outrank Google. And I did a training on it this morning, which was very interesting. So let me just do a quick search for you for an agent out of Great Neck, Neil Gortler. So Neil is an agent out of the Great Neck office, but his website comes up first. So when I type in his name, his website comes up first. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be working on that. You're going to spend a good few weeks working on the tips that we give you to make sure that your website ranks first. And then when you add the word real estate or realtor, let's just do realtor. You're right there next to everybody, and you're also beating out Zillow. So that's what we want. So can Google help your business? In a sense, yes, but it's going to be reliant on you. You got to follow all the little tips and tools that we give you, because we're not just blowing smoke. What we're doing is we're trying to show you that these little things like updating your bio can help you rank higher in Google, because that's where the traffic's going to come from. So it starts with your name, because that's your brand. The Laffey brand, you're already riding the coattails because your website is going to be as strong as anything out there, and especially anything out there that's local. And once you start combining the social media posting with that, it gets even stronger and stronger and stronger. We have a way for you to make your own business greater than you think online. Google can't do it for you, but they can be an exceptional tool for you to use along with your CRM, the Laffey CRM, and along with these little tips and tricks that we talk about. Putting this inside of your Zillow bio. Put your website inside of your Zillow bio, and you can leverage Zillow to get higher rankings above Zillow. And ultimately, that's what we're talking about. Now, I'm going to give you one other example. 36. Where was it? Let me see. It was Edie Katz's listing, right? Edith Katz. It might have been 36. Oh, it is. There it is. 36 Cedar Lane. So you're driving through the neighborhood and you know that there's a place. So let me just type in Cedar Lane, Port Washington. Because maybe you didn't get the number, but you're driving in the neighborhood and you're looking for 30 Cedar Lane, Port Washington, home for sale. Okay, so you're going down here and you're looking at Zillow. Zillow is very strong with all of those individual listings. It's always going to come up there. And then you're looking for, 36. That's the one. That's the one. Well, hopefully you're going to find some of what Edie's doing, which is these right here, these videos. And I can show you how these videos will come up first on page 1 of Google. But more importantly, once you start doing all the extra tips and tricks, you're going to find that you're going to get your website coming up there first. So let's do that. 36 Cedar Lane, right? If I could spell. Port. I'll just shorten it because I'm lazy. So here we got the Zillow link that's coming up, and we've got this VHT, and we've got Laffey.com right down here. Now, it's made it to page 1, which is awesome. That listing for Laffey.com has made it to page 1. What we need to do is a couple of little extra tricks, like posting to social media to boost this, to get it above Zillow. But keep in mind, Zillow is your friend as far as Google is concerned. That's what you're really looking for. It's not your friend once somebody gets in there. Those leads end up going to somebody else who's paying for that area. They want to pay to get the Sands Point. Oh, so this wasn't Port Washington. It was Sands Point. I made the mistake of typing in Port Washington because that's her office. But check this out. See, it still gave us the results. So let's do Sands Point. Sands Point. And let's see what we get. Okay, so we've got the location, which is going to be Google Maps. And then we're going to scroll down and we're going to see Zillow, Realtor. Those are all the heavy hitters. Redfin's a heavy hitter. Compass is a heavy hitter. And then we're looking down here and we see all of these videos. And this is the visual thing that's going to help you rank above everybody else. And it's super important that you get to this point in your career where you're automatically taking the photos that you're paying for and turning them into videos. Because Edie did that and she turned around and did an entire tour that we turned into a video. And so far, it's gotten over 500 views.
That face that is usually covered.
And that's important because look what we did. We took the Laffey.com link. We took her personal, this is the vanity URL for that, which is another tool inside of Laffey Connect. We added a couple of other things to give it relevance to Sands Point so that when you do this search phrase, it comes up. If you add Edith's name to it, let's do that. Let's see what we get. First one is the video, which is exactly what we were looking for, and then all of the other sites. Now, she's also done that on Facebook, which is great. We wanted that to come up. The one thing we're missing is her website. And that's something, again, you want to see what's missing so that you can fix those things. Now, what we're missing here is her website. So what we would do is we would go back to her website. Let's see if we can pull that up real quick. edithkatz.laffey.com. And I am just the worst typer, speller anywhere. Edith, there it is. So this is her website. So on that listing, what we would do is we would go in and edit that listing. And then we make sure that we added the video in there. And we added some other linkage. So for instance, if you notice, here's the video here. Oh, we did it. Okay, we did add the video, and it's probably missing some more information that we could add in here. So for instance, let's just look at this real quick. It's a great description. But keep in mind, on our website, you can add anything you want. You can keep adding more and more about Sands Point, more about the area itself, and keep adding to that. And make sure that you share this link, copy and paste this link on Facebook. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to repost this so that we can get more visibility. So I'm going to do it on the Port Washington page because that's her office. So we create this post here. I copy and paste the link. And there's her home. Now it already has the video on there, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the description. Just the first couple of sentences. Copy and paste that. Go back to Facebook. Paste that in there. And then I will add Edith's contact information. Phone numbers, folks. Phone numbers. Phone numbers. All right? I can't tell you how frustrating it is not to be able to find a phone number. So make sure you use your name, your phone number, and then your email address. Phone numbers first. You want the phone ringing. Hi, this is Edith. How can I help you today? Oh, I was at driving by 36 Cedar and I wanted to see if I can get a showing. Oh, great. Let's see what we can set up for you. An email takes just so much extra time. And you got to go back and forth, and the text messages and back and forth. Picking up the phone. Get back to the roots. Pick up the phone. Speak to the agent. Mojo Stummer extension. Let me see what that's probably should be an S, right? Yes, there we go. Okay, so Edith's phone number. We'll go back to the website. Now, again, you're going to do all of this on your website. I'm just going to copy that number. Critical. Now, here's what I like to do. Instead of putting it at the end, I like to throw it first. In case somebody already knows the information, then just throw it there first. Now, how long did that actually take you? A few minutes. And as you get to know what you're doing, it's quick. It'll take you less than 3 minutes to do this. But the long-term benefits are tremendous. And the long-term benefits are what happens here in Google. Okay? So always remember that Google is definitely your friend, but you have to feed the beast. Feed it. Feed it, feed it, feed it, and it will give back tenfold. Okay? And it'll allow you to beat out other entities like Zillow and Realtor. 36 Cedar Lane, Sands Point. Ultimately, you want this one right here, Sands Point Homes for Sale. That's what you're really looking for. You're looking to find your niche in here somewhere. Let's see what we can go into. Let's go to videos. Let's see if there's anything in here. So where we're looking for Sands Point Homes for Sale, what I would do is I would retitle that video. I'd keep the address in there, but I'd also add in this, Sands Point Homes for Sale. Because keep in mind, when you're doing this in Google and it gives you a suggestion, so let's go back for a second so that you can see what I'm talking about. The suggestion. So here's what I typed in as a consumer, right? Typed in the address. But look at the suggestions it gives you. Somebody was actually, most people were looking for this. The top ones are going to be the top. Those are the top searches. Sands Point Homes for Sale. Top search. Find a way to use that in your descriptions and your videos. Sands Point Homes for Sale. Because anything that's showing in this suggestion fields here is what's happening. That's real time. So Sands Point, New York, Sands Point new construction. People are searching for these things. Now, it has to be to a certain point. Nobody knows the exact number, but let's say it's 500 searches per month. That's how it gets into these top search phrases. So anything that you see here is important. Don't disregard it. Use it. Okay. So that was a quick live training today. Just wanted to talk about intent. Wanted to talk about Google. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it and subscribe. That's going back to Laffey Real Estate. We can go back here. Let's see here. Let me go to our channel. So this is going to be a regular thing, folks. We're going to do this 2-3 a week. I want you to go to Laffey Real Estate. Make sure you subscribe. And I want you to like our videos. So if you're on this one, just go ahead and this is where the infinite comes in. Just hit that like button right there. And hit the notification bell, which is around here somewhere. There is usually a notification bell. And we'd like you to do that so that you can get notified when we're doing more of these live streams. And also make any comments you'd like to make. Thanks for showing up today, folks. Hope you have a great day.